As always, we ground everything in the best for all strategy. And today we will be talking about educators. Today we're going to talk about end of the year actions, things that you need to start doing to wrap up the end of the year, things you can do before the end of the year is finishes, keep you from doing this work in the summer. As you remember, every educator must have a growth measure selection in T-NCompass, even if they are anticipated to generate their own individual growth score. They need a school level TVOS composite entered into T-NCompass. There are two types of school level composites that you can choose from. You have a school level, just TVOS composite. It is selected in T-NCompass and that score is automatically entered. There is the second option is a custom feeder option. That is, that score will be uploaded by the district. Please note, custom feeder options are only used if a school does not generate its own TVOS composites. This is not used by very many teachers. There are very few teachers in the state that actually need this option. For example, a teacher that would use a custom feeder option, if they are in ABC charter organization, it has two schools. School 1 has a school that only has kindergarten through 2nd grade. School 2 has grades 3 through 8. School 1 would not generate any composite TVOS composite scores because none of those grades generate TVOS.
Hey,
teachers, Amy. Yes.
Sorry, go ahead. Finish up this slide. I thought you were about to move on.
Teachers in school 1 could be using the custom feeder option, and let's say you're using TVOS composite, their TVOS overall composite. That score would come from school 2, school 2, and it would be whatever their score is for the TVOS overall composite. That is the score that you would enter into the teacher who chose the custom feeder options in T-NCompass. That would all have to be uploaded by you.
Katie has a question.
Okay.
They're only K2 this year.
Is this a new school that is just starting?
We started last year K1.
Right.
We're a single site. We do not have another school that we could pull data from.
Right. So your teachers will not be able to use a custom feeder. You don't have another school, that's correct, that they can pull from. So unfortunately, the only teachers in your charter that will be able to generate a growth score would be those that have individual growth. If they're doing a portfolio or using the alternative growth measure, AGM. I'm assuming you all are adding a grade every year. As you add those grades, you will get those. Mm-hmm. Okay. So they, you can put that selection in there, but nothing will populate because you're not going to have that score.
Okay. Will that inversely affect our teachers in any way, or?
They will not generate an LOE. Only those that generate an individual growth score will get an LOE.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Katie, I will say we got your question in portfolio questions, and we were waiting for this office hour to find to make sure we gave you accurate information about your K2. And like Amy said, and I believe I need to double check, but I believe you're doing an alternative growth measure, individual growth score for your K2 teachers, correct?
We had selected the portfolio. You can move on. I'm happy to talk to somebody.
Okay. But like Amy said, I think you'll be fine. It'll just be anybody who is not a grade level teacher.
Okay, thank you.
All teachers also have to have an achievement measure selection. There are 7 types of achievement measure selections. And again, the scores for the TVOS school-wide composites are automatically loaded into T-NCompass. We just discussed all of that. One thing you need to do now is monitor those selections in T-NCompass. You can do that by going to the reports. You're going to use the growth and achievement measure selections report. Choose the correct year. You can pull this by school or by your charter organization. The educator type, you can choose teacher or administrator. Instructional supervisors do not need growth and achievement measure selections. So you will want to run this for your teachers and your administrators. It'll be 2 different times you do that. When you download the report, you're going to want to look at columns O and P. If those are filled, then those teachers have selections in T and Compass. If when you look at column P, if you see somebody that has a custom feeder option, TVOS composite there, and you do not have a feeder school, or your school generates, that one needs to be changed. You can change that by going into T and Compass and making that change on the educator's record. To monitor your achievement measure selections, you'll use columns Q, R, and S. Q will tell you what the measure type is. You see on this example, most of them are state assessments. And then you can look in column S to see exactly what the teachers are choosing. The second row shows a teacher that chose grade level 3.8 math success rate. That is a score that you will have to calculate at the when you get your test scores back and enter into T and Compass. And all of these teachers have the criteria selected for them. The criteria is put in by you. If it is a TVOS composite, you do not have to put 1 through 5 there. They automatically come as 1 through 5s. You can put that if you want to. It doesn't hurt anything. Entering missing measures in T and Compass, the most efficient way to submit both achievement and growth measures in bulk is to use the import wizard in T and Compass. Their instructions for using the import wizard are posted on the team website. That is linked here, and the March Charter School Office Hour, which is also posted on the team website, walks through. We walked through that last month. So those are resources for you to get those in. These measures can be entered individually by on the teacher's record, but if you have very many to do, it's much easier to do it this way. You also need to monitor pacing. State Board of Education Policy 5.201 outlines the minimum requirements for pacing. Everybody has to meet pacing regardless of your rubric that you're using, whether you're using the team rubric or you're using a charter approved rubric, there is still pacing to be met. These are the minimum requirements. I know some of the charter rubrics require a lot more pacing, and that's fine. These are the minimum that have to be met. I just wanted you to have that information handy. If you are if your school uses the team rubric and enters your observations into T and Compass directly, you'll see the pacing circles on the teacher's record. You can also download the pacing guide report from T and Compass, and this will show you all of your teachers and where they are on pacing. You can just look, for example, in column N, it shows you the minimum instruction that is required, and on column O shows how many they've had. So this is a handy report if you are a team, if you're using the team rubric and enter each observation in. You need to check for partial year exemptions. Any teachers that should be marked as PYE, please get those marked before the end of the year. Educators with contracts of less than 120 days or less. Educators who've been on extended leave and haven't met that 121-day requirement. Educators who may have transferred to a different school or who have transferred to a different role in the during the school year. They became an administrator after Christmas. Educators who leave the district or charter before the end of the year. And you don't delete them. If they leave and they are there for more than 121 days, you leave them there. You don't do anything. But if they leave your charter before the end of the year and have not met the 120-day requirement, they need to be marked as PYE. To mark PYE, you go to the educator's record. You'll see a blue PYE button. Once you click that, it will open up another window and you choose the reason the teacher is considered PYE. There is an other and that you can explain the reason they're being marked, and then you click change, and it will then show them as PYE. It will take away all of their evaluation components that are in there. So next steps for you would be to upload any missing growth or achievement measure selections, monitor your observations to ensure everyone is meeting pacing, identify educators who should be PYE, upload your achievement measure scores as they become available. If your teachers chose an off-the-shelf measure, you should have that score by the end of the year. You can go on and upload that and get that out of the way. Scores for your TVIS composites are automatically loaded into TN Compass. You don't have to worry about those. We talked about the custom feeder options. They must be entered by you. Here are some resources for you on the team website. We have the achievement measure selection guidance. We have growth measure selection guidance there. How to upload selections using the import wizard. Our charter office hour recordings are on the team website. Other things are just basic information from our team website. The evaluation configurator monthly office hours are also there. They are very similar to the office hours that we do for charters. Charters are a little more in depth sometimes. And then the teacher evaluation handbook is very helpful, which is under the evaluation tab. Our next office hour will be on May the 16th, and we are going to talk about evaluation options and preparing for the 24-25 school year. This is, if you aren't the sole person that makes the decisions regarding evaluation options, you may want to bring someone. These options are signed off on by the person who is in TN Compass as your superintendent. So if you want to invite friends to come to that meeting to hear the information, we're going to talk about what all of these options are and what they mean so that you can make informed decisions when it's time to do that. As always, with any questions, please email Team Questions, and we're happy to help. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, or you can come off of mute. We're a small group. We're happy to answer them. About this or anything else that we can help you with.